Okay, so today I will explain on how we are going to use Ansible roles. So the way we are using Ansible playbook, right? So the same command, there's one more command called Ansible Galaxy. So what is Ansible Galaxy? So Ansible Galaxy is a place so where everybody can store, share their roles, and using this command, so we can download all the existing roles or we can create our own role. Okay, so mostly you would end up creating your own role. The reason behind is the way you use and the way others use may be a bit different, right? So Ansible Galaxy is a command, or if you want to check up the roles that are available in the market, then we can also browse it. Why it is not coming? Come on. Ansible Galaxy roles. So you would see the galaxy.ansible.com. Here they may share all type of roles. So we don't need to rewrite everything from scratch. So if you have been set to write one role, then you can search here by referencing what they have written. You can create your own. That becomes very easy for you to what to consider and what not to consider. Okay. So before we look into that, so let's write our first own role and then compare with what we have in the market. Okay. So I'm going to use a help command to see the options we have available. So we have Ansible Galaxy and the role. Ansible, maybe I'll just create a directory. I have to go to the Ansible and then I'm creating a folder called roles. I'm going inside the roles here and running the command Ansible Galaxy role dash dash help. So again, role has these many options. So init means initialize a new role with base structure of role. This is what we are going to do now. So remove, delete, list, search, import. There are so many options available. Okay. So now I am going to init Ansible Galaxy in role init. Okay. So what is the role name we wanted to create? So since we have been working on HTTPD, I will take the same role so that you can easily understand. Okay. I am going HTTPD. See the role HTTPD was created successfully. So now if I do ls-lat here, I see a directory getting created. Okay. Now let's go ahead and see what the directory has inside. So inside the PW HTTPD, so we have these many directories created automatically. So what are these directories? So very simple. So we know vars. So all your variable files will go and sit in the vars. Tests, all your tests files. So even we can write the test cases for our Ansible playbook. So all those tests, so Ansible roles. So all those tests will go here. And tasks. So whatever tasks we are going to write, all the tasks will go inside this directory. So meta information will work on top of your role. Let's suppose you have a dependency between role, then you can also mention here, and you can also mention your details about your role as well, like who owns it, who is the owner of it, what is the version, what is the requirement, everything you can write here. Handlers, handlers, all the handlers. So as I told you yesterday, handlers will run at the end of your run playbook, right? That is the handlers. So defaults. So defaults means if you have any variable you have used in your tasks and your tests, if you don't have the default value mentioned over there, then the default you can mention here. So this has a list priority in entire row. And then files. So if you're copying some files like index.html or some other a.txts, then you will keep all the files here. And the templates. So we have seen Jinja 2 template, right? So where the variables will be replaced during the runtime. So that templates will go here. And the readme.md is going to provide the readme instructions when you push this role to your GitHub repository. So this is the structure. So we have seen variables, we have seen tasks, we have seen handlers, we have seen files, we have seen templates. So we kept everything in one folder previously, right? But when we talk about the role, they're all properly organized. They will have their own dedicated directories where you can keep them, and Ansible knows where to go ahead find it. Okay, so now we have everything. So the first thing that we need to do is tasks. So we know of tasks, right? So I'll go inside the tasks. So it has a main.yaml file. So when you run this role, so this main.yaml file by default called. So you should not rename this. Just keep it as it is. So now I am going to write my main.yaml. So they have some instructions. I remove this guy. I just write my tasks. Okay. So what I'm going to do, installing HTTPD, installing HTTP. Yeah, rather than I can take also variable, right? Software. So we know that I need to use a yum. Yum is here. Name is going to be package. Oh, sorry. This is the main file, right? So main file, what I'm going to do, I will just import the corresponding tasks. Okay. So name. So this contains your information like uh, loading Red Hat tasks, import tasks, Red Hat YAML, and when same whatever we have seen yesterday. Now again one more task, name, loading Debian tasks, import task, Debian. So this is we know of, right? So now I save this. So now I need to create Red Hat.yaml file. So where we are going to install our tasks. Okay, installing package software yum name package state is going to be present. This is like a plain task. So now I also have a copy tasks, right? So this would say copying the index file. So I'm going to take the template, not the copy. Source will be I would say index file. I'm taking two variables here. Destination going to be /var /www /html /index.html. That is the template, and I'm going to notify this start the service. So we guys know. So what I'm doing here, I'm installing a package here, and I'm taking it in a variable, and this also a variable index file name, and I'm copying it here. I'm calling a notify start the service. Okay, this about our Red Hat. So I'm just going to write only Red Hat so that we can see it. Okay, we can do the same thing for Debian also. So now I have done. So I need to work on my variable. So we have packages and index file. So what I'm going to do, I will go to the vars directory. Now I go to the vars. So here again, I have the main.yaml file is there, right? So I can simply skip this. There is no worry. So now I'm going to create my variable file, Red Hat vars.yaml. Okay. So here I need to mention package So package will come as httpd and then index underscore file. So index file name is index.html.j2. I have just mentioned the variable values here. Okay. So now I have mentioned, right? So I need to import these variables, right? So what I'm going to do again, I'll go back. I'll go to the tasks and then I open the redhat.yaml file. So here, before to this, I can include the vars. Include vars redhat vars.yaml. So this guy know from where to download these files. Okay. So now whenever Red Hat package is called, so this file will be called. It will load the variables and then run it. Okay. So now I am saving this. Red Hat is done. So we need to work on our handlers. So I go back here. So I go to the handler section. There is a main. I delete this guy. So the name I have given is start the service, right? So the command is service. Service name is going to be package. So same variables applies here as well. Name and the state is going to be, I would say started. That's it. I have written my handlers. So what I have done here is, let me install the tree command, then we can see the structure properly. So now I have here, right? I do tree. So in the tree is going to give me the structure of this directory. So I have a defaults. Defaults has a main.yaml file. Files, I don't have any. Handlers has one file, main.yaml file, where I mentioned the handlers. I want to start the service. Meta, we did not update anything. Tasks, so I have two files, main.yaml file and redhat.yaml file. So main.yaml file will be started first, and this main.yaml file has the instructions to load this file, and this file will be loaded when the target server is a Red Hat. So templates, so we haven't created the template yet, so we need to create that. Tests, so we haven't written any tests, but there are some two files available already. And the vars, so vars section I have taken the Red Hat vars.yaml file. Okay, so that's our typical structure. So what we are missing is template, so we need to create the templates. So I go to the templates here. So I have nothing in this, so I'm going to create. So the file name I have used and I have used in the variable is this. Okay, so I would write my HTML body and then header one. This, come on, this is Ansible Galaxy role test slash h1. Now I wanted to replace here. Here is a running. I would say again h2 run, running from. I'm going to take Ansible OS family and the IP is Ansible. What was that? Is it Ansible IP address? Remember the variable name? No? Okay. So I have closed this guys, and then I'm going to use the body section, and then I'm going to use the HTML section. Perfect. So these two will be replaced with my variables. So I'm saving this. So I'm ready to test this. Okay, I'm ready to test my role. So let's also check the meta as well. I have the meta here. So I'm opening the main. So it says about who is your author. So you can write the author name here. So description. This is a demo role. You can also write the company name. So you can also write the valid license if you have purchased a license. You can mention this and the minimum Ansible version. So there are some restrictions maybe in your role that this role you might have used some modules will only work with some certain Ansible versions and above. So that version you can mention here. We are using Ansible 2.9, so that's why it is saying the minimum version as 2.9. Okay, and then we have this platform. So on which platform it can run? It can only run on the RHEL or Debian. So at the moment we have created the role to work only for the Red Hat. So we need to mention the Red Hat version here, right? And then tags. So tags means for the Galaxy role. So if you push this role to Ansible Galaxy website, then how you are going to search for it? So you can mention the tags here. And the dependencies. So dependencies means, so if your role is dependent on some other role, let's suppose you want to install the Java. Okay, so you can install the Java, but in the company, so if you want to install the Java, so after that you may need to install the certs as well, certificates, because it's mandatory to update your certificates whenever you try to install a software or uh, configure something, because there may be some updated certs available and you want to install that. So that is a dependency. So you would be installing certs first and then you install the Java. Okay, so that the dependencies. And then yeah, that's it. We have it here. So I'm going to save this. Done. So now let's go ahead and use this role. So now we have just used only for Red Hat, right? Nothing else. So we can run this and then come and check for the Debian as well. Okay, so I have the roles here, right? So now how we are going to use it? So before I use, so we already have the these softwares configured, right? So I'm going to yeah, anyway, I'm going to run it now. Okay, so how we are going to run? So we have roles directory separately. So now we also need to create a separate directory called playbooks. It is not mandatory, but it's a good practice. Okay, I created the playbook. I go inside the playbooks. I'm going to write my first playbook. So this will be httpd.yaml. So remember, even though you have a role, you need to have one playbook to call this. Okay, even though you have a roles, to call this, you need to write again a playbook for this. Okay, so now I'm going to say installing httpd. Okay, this is the thing. The hosts where you want to install all become true. Now we always write tasks, right? But this is not tasks. So rather these are roles. I need to mention the roles here. So where is your roles located? So my roles is located inside the roles directory. Inside the roles directory, the role name is httpd. That's it. So if you don't have the roles directory, then you can remove this and just mention the your role name. So see, so we have used tasks here. So rather than tasks, so now we are using roles, simple roles. You use roles and then call your roles directory. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run this. Ansible. So I'm actually where? I'm inside the playbooks, right? So I need to come out. So I have a roles and playbooks. Now I'm running it. Ansible playbook -i. So where is the host file? So I have a host file here only, right? -i hosts. So where is my playbooks? My playbook is inside the playbooks directory httpd. That's it. So if you have the different user, you can pass a different user here, --user. So if you want to use password authentication, you can use -k. Since I'm using the keys, I don't need to do that. I run it. It says something. Could not find or access playbooks Debian YAML file. Yeah, we have mentioned the Debian YAML file, right? It is not working. So now let me go ahead. Inside the role httpd, sorry, roles. So go inside the tasks. in main. So we have this debian.yaml file, right? So we need to skip this. I will just delete this. Okay. Now let me come back, come back, come back, and run the same command. So it's gathering the facts. So it's running on rel and Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is skipped. So copy the index file is saying undefined variable. So we don't have the Ansible IP address. So it is different, it looks like. So let me check that quickly. Oh, sorry, we have it here folder. So we have used it inside the index.html. No, where we have used it? We used it in the test. Yeah, here. So it is actually Ansible host name, not the IP address. So I need to edit that. It will be in the templates. So this is not the IP address. Rather, it's Ansible hostname. Perfect. So now again, I go back. Now I run it again. Installing HTTPD, it's available. And then copying index file, it copied and then done. So now let's go ahead and access our servers. I just opened one. Come on, instances. I'll probably pick up this rel one. There you go. See, the same role. So whatever we have seen yesterday, right? So now rather than writing in one directory or one file, so we kept everything separately. We kept everything separately. So it looks neat. So now if someone says what is a role, you can just simply say go inside the roles directory and there is a HTTPD. So they can easily see. So templates, if they want to know about templates, so they can go this directory. If they want to know about tasks, they go this directory. If they want to know about variables, just go this directory, right? That is the beauty of this. And another beauty of this Ansible Galaxy is, so this role can be shared. So roles are actually mean to share across the teams, across projects, across companies. So you create one role and you publish it. And then anyone who has a requirement of installing HTTPD, they can simply download your role and make use of that, right? Isn't that simple? So playbook anyway, we have to write our own. Like we should know our hosts, right? Because hosts are different across the projects. So that's why we just write our small playbook where our host is and we call this role. That's it. So you can call as many roles as you want. Okay. So that's what here the roles is. So now let me go ahead and write the remaining tasks for Debian as well. Okay. I'm going with the tasks. So I create the debian.yaml. So here I need to installing same package, installing software is going to be app name package, you can say state present, and then copying part in the index file template. Source is going to be, again we have a variable index underscore file. Destination is going to be slash var slash www slash html slash index.html. That's it. Okay. I need to use the notify, right? So notify start the service. My Debian tasks are done. So now I go back and work on my variables. I go to the vars. Okay. Debian vars.yaml. So package is going to be Apache 2 and index file is going to be same index html.j2. Okay, this is my index is done. So now I copy this file name. Then again I go back to the tasks. I go to the Debian. Then I'm going to write here include vars here. That's it. This will be important. I save this and now I'm good to run. If I go back, I have this Ansible directory here and the playbook I'm going to run. I'm going to run the 330 command. This will be run. See, Ubuntu is skipped because the first it is running on the red. That's fine. So why Ubuntu? Why Ubuntu is skipping every? Oh, we did not added that into the main file, right? Gotcha. So in the tasks, there's the main, right? So we haven't added that thing. So loading Debian tasks. We're not imported, right? We haven't mentioned anywhere in the main.yaml file that consider this file as well. Debian. So now if I go back and run the command, so now it's running for the Debian as well. You see, Ubuntu is also got changed. It is skipping for these two. So that's what your role is. So role is going to be a neat and can be shared. If now someone asks me that they also have a requirement of installing HTTPD, so what I could do, I could simply share that HTTPD directory with them. So you can upload the same thing to your GitHub and then you can ask them to download from there. That's it. So one time code many people can use. Any doubts on this? Hello?
No. No.
So that's what about our roles. So there is one more role available here, it looks like, that is the Nginx. So rather than I'm writing this from scratch, I'll just download this. So this is 30 months ago. So things might have changed now, but let me see. Okay. Or what we could do, yeah, I think that may eat up our time. So let's walk through. So we have a Red Hat and Debian here. So main has what? Very the same thing we just seen here, which is perfect. And then Red Hat has. So we are installing the agent and we are also doing the import index enable task file. Again, we are in doing some more task in the template.yaml. Okay, template.yaml. So again, we have a tasks here. we are just doing the templates here. Okay, and then that's it. So we might be doing more thing here. This is the configuration file. This is again your plain HTML file. But where is the Nginx configuration file? Is it in the config directory? No, there is no files. Yeah, this is just like a plain. Yeah, just similar. The same thing I'm using here, but I used Nginx software than the HTTPD. Yeah, that's what. So any doubts? This created 3 years ago. Okay. Any doubts, guys? No? Okay. So now I will show you how we are going to use the Ansible Galaxy that is available in the market. Okay. So you come to this place, galaxy.ansible.com. You search for something, whatever you're looking for. So now you're looking for HTTPD, right? So I come here, search for HTTPD. So there is a available. Someone has written this code, and here it's code, here is code. There are many people have written, but you need to check the ratings and number of downloads. Currently it's failing, so maybe it may not work based on some certain conditions. Okay, but let's go ahead and check this. So how are we going to check this? We just click this. So they are going to provide you the way to install this. Okay, so you can just run this command. This will be installed automatically. So if you want to check in GitHub repo, you can also check a GitHub repo as well. Okay, so I'll probably do it in my local. So now I go back to the directory. I run this command simply. Okay, so when you installed it, so you see where it is installed. Extracting Robert debug HTTPD to this location where it is inside Ansible and roles. So this is the location we might have given in our configuration. That's fine. So I'll go back to here first. This is the role. I'm here. Okay. So now he has so many files. So let's do the tree ones. So what he has. So when I do the tree, he has code of conduct, contributing, defaults, handlers he has license file, meta, he has these many informations, molecule. So molecule we use for the Ansible testing. Okay, molecule testing we call it. So readme, requirements YAML, security, and tasks. So he has 2 tasks. Templates. So he has see how many templates? So many templates he has. Okay, and the talks I don't know what talks is, and the vars. Okay, so this look a little bit familiar for us. So first thing what we need to do is, so we need to first, you need to read the readme.md file that will give you the good information of what this role is. So if you don't have that much of time, you can yourself understand this. So first thing we need to do is, so we need to go to the tasks because that will be executed first. So you have to go to the main.yaml file. So inside the main, so what he has seen. So first he's included the asset.yaml file, and then he is installing the Apache HTTPD Apache package. He's modifying SC Linux because there could be some type of security that we need to disable or reduce some permissions on the Linux side. Okay, so that he's reducing it here. He's using he's in 2 conditions. So Ansible SC Linux status is defined and it has to be enabled. Then only it is going to perform this task. And again, allow connections to custom ports. So it's again opening up the ports as well on the machine. So if it is AWS, we control it through security group. If it's not AWS, if it is your local machine, then you may have to use like this. Okay, so that's about your opening up the ports. So he's actually, oh, there are various things. He's also again configuring the locations, configuring v hosts, so many. He used notified, loop controls, as a loop actually, again templates. See, so many options he has used. The reason why he has used these many options, because when you are trying to share the role in the world, right? So you need to consider each and every option that is available, that could people use it, because we are using rel, some people use may debian, some people may use CentOS, some people may SUSE. So you need to cover all those families. And also httpd, some people use as uh, cloud, some people use uh, vSphere, some people use some other softwares. So again, you need to cover those aspects. And httpd we have been doing with only 80 port, but some people may use https as well, like how we are going to configure SSL. So if you have those options available in your role, then only other people downloads it, right? So if it is just plain simple, no one downloads it, because that is not the good case. So that's why he had to put so many options here. You see, he's also redirecting HTTPS. So finally, he's starting the service. See, that's what his task file is. So he say asset. Let's see what he has in asset. So he's just verifying some variables, like whether this is there or not. Asserting. Asset is a module maybe again. See. So if you're a developer, you maybe know this asset. Asset is you used in the conditions, like test cases, whether this value is there or not, this coming is or not. We just assert it. If it is not coming, if it fails it. So he's just verifying all the variables that we are passing, whether they are proper or not. HTTPD greater than 0, less than this. So it should be in this range. So if you give one of the range, then this will fail and it won't install the HTTPD software, because the port you have given is incorrect, right? That's what it is. So you can also get this type of roles anywhere. So you don't need to do all this in your company, right? So you can simply do what is needed. So that's about the Ansible Galaxy roles and other stuff. So we can also check the Nginx as well. Even Nginx has so many options available. So you may be Nginx core, Nginx controller, everything. So let's see if they have a Jenkins as well. Yeah, someone written Jenkins as well. So 28 downloads. Looks like he's not that popular. Yeah, you see this Girling guy. So he is a main contributor to Ansible. So if you see any of the role by written his name, so you can simply take it. So he is the most contributed guy for the Ansible. So he has written KTS, PHP roles. So he has written 99 roles. See, so where is the Jenkins? So we've said Jenkins, right? Where is Jenkins? Yeah. So let's check in GitHub repo rather than downloading. So here, go to the task. So you can read the README. So he might have explained how to use these roles and where are the variables and how they works. See, he has used so many variables: username, password, ports, and Jenkins home, and the host name that we need to modify, package state, all this. Wow. So let's go to the tasks. So tasks, the main tasks. So he's including var. So again, you see, he has gone bit smart here. So rather than mentioning Red Hat vars, Debian vars, so he's used the variable name. So whenever this file is called, include OS specific variables, it is including the vars. So which var will be included? This will be replaced. If it is Debian, Debian.yaml file. If it is Red Hat, Red Hat.yaml file will be included from var directory automatically. Okay, he is defining Jenkins repo URL, and then is a key that we always take it, right? So when you are installing Jenkins, so we need to import the key. This is what he's doing here. This is for the if the package URL is not defined, then this will be considered. So include tasks. So he's including tasks for Red Hat, tasks for Debian, and then he's including settings. Then what happens? So after that, this will be run. Jenkins is started. So he's starting the Jenkins here. And then he's doing something here, like installing the plugins and doing something here. No, this is the include plugins here. So he's running some securities, Groovy files. Okay. Yeah, it is actually trying to download the CLI file, that the Jenkins CLI. Just to make sure that it has so many. See, we have so many options here. Register, we have seen that is going to download the output of this task until. So it's like a loop. We have used until loop. Retry. So how many times it has to retry. So if it fails, can I try one more time? This is what he's doing with the retries. Delay. So before retry, how much delay I should wait? Like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, like kind of a sleep. So change it when false. Check mode false. So what is check mode here? Check mode, yeah, we didn't work on check mode, right? So check mode is going to do a dry run. That will not impact, but it will give you how it will be if you run it. That is the best option that we use it with the Ansible playbook. So when you are running the Ansible playbook towards production, it is recommended that you do with check mode. So check mode will give you, this is how am I going to do in the target machine. This will give you a blueprint. So if you think everything is going fine, then you can run it directly by removing check mode option. So the check mode option will be like this. So let me go back. I go to the Ansible here. So same, where is my playbook? This is a playbook, right? You just give check mode. That's it. Dash dash check mode. Not like that. No, dash just check, I think. Yeah. So this will say, this is what I am going to do. This will not actually impact it. So this is how it looks like. It is going to skip 3, change 0. Unreachable is also 0. This is how it looks like. So if you want to do in live, so this is what machine? This is my Red Hat machine, right? Okay. So I'm going into the roles, HTTPD. I go to the templates. I go to the index. So I'm making some changes here. So now the file is changed. So it should actually release this file. Okay, this is the new change to test the check mode. /h2. So now what happened? Our index file is changed. Technically, when I run my playbook, the newer file will be copied onto the target machines, right? So, but when I use a check mode, it will not do that. It just says what will happen. So here I'm using check mode now. Let's run. You see? So if you run this as it is, then there is a change. So your target servers are not in a desired state. So which change will be impacted? So copying index file. So the index file will have a change. If I refresh it, you don't see that change here because we ran it in a check mode. It is going to give you how it will impact. So if you see, okay, so it is expected because you have modified the index file, it is going to recopy the newer one. If you feel safe, then you can simply remove this check and then run it. Now it will actually impact it. See, it's impacted. It's impacted. Done. Now I'll refresh this. You will see the third line. That's what the check mode. Check mode is useful. So, and also remember, check mode may not work on all tasks, right? There are some tasks may not support the check mode. So some of the playbooks may fail. Okay, so that's why check mode is not 100% give you the, I mean, it gives you the results, but not 100% runs it all the time. That's about the check mode and the Ansible Galaxy and the Ansible Galaxy roles. So any questions on this, guys? Hello?
No.
Surely no?
Have to practice first.
Yes, practice it. When you get the error, ping me in WhatsApp. Okay, so we discussed about the Galaxy roles, right? So now we need to discuss a little bit on the Vault. So what is the Ansible Vault and why do we use it? So Vault is important. So Vault, you can use the HashiCorp Vault or the Azure Key Vault or AWS keys or I mean, you can also use Ansible Vault. So Ansible Vault will only work for the Ansible packages, okay, not everywhere. So now I have Ansible playbook. So now I need to create a user account, okay. So let me simply write a small playbook, which, so I am going to playbooks. It's good that you always keep everything in playbook here. So I have a user.yaml, okay. I am going to creating a user. So maybe, so whenever in a company, right, so you have a set of servers like 5, 10. Now what happens, people come and go, right? Some people onboard, some people leave the company, right? So whenever a new person comes, whenever existing person goes, so you have to deactivate his account from Linux. So if you're using LDAP, you don't need. But if you're not using LDAP, you're using local users, then you have to delete those manually, right? Now we can automate that process. Okay, so I'm just using the creating a user. Okay, so maybe we can make it for both uh, user actions. Okay, so you need to provide the hosts. I'm going to provide all. So we need to be become true, of course, and then tasks. I'm not writing roles. I'm just using the tasks directly. Okay, so first creating the user. Okay, so again we need to use the user module for that. Ansible user module. We have it here. So let's go and check it. So user name, comment, UID, and group. That's perfect. So now I'm going to use the user module name. What is the name of the person? So you can simply say username because we are going to take it as a variable, right? And then what do we have? So I would take user ID, that is a login ID, and then I have a comment. Comment, I would say user name, and then UID, group ID, that will be created automatically. Mhm. We need to set the password, right? So name expires. So we have a password here. Okay, now let's see. So optionally set the user's passwords. This scripted value on Mac OS system, this value has to be clear text. Beware of security issues. To create disabled. Hmm. Ansible ad command is the easiest option. Ansible all -i localhost -m debug -a beside my password hash secret salt. Okay, so this is the easiest command to create the password. So remember, so Ansible, in the Ansible, right? So you cannot technically, you cannot generally keep the password here directly. So if I say password, so I wanted to give the password as a like something, maybe a, this is the password. So we cannot keep the password like this. So even though this is satisfied password, it has all the alphanumerics and the upper lower cases, right? Then this will not be considered as a password. So to use password in Ansible, so you need to first encrypt it. To encrypt it, so this password, to encrypt this password, you have to run this command first. Or you can use this import utility, Python utility. But we use this one. Okay, so this is what the command is. I'll save this, come out. The command I'm executing is Ansible running on all hosts, -i is host, local host. So I'm running on my Ansible machine only. Local host means -m debug, -a is a command. So message is equal to my password hash SHA-150, the secret salt. So secret salt is, this is we need to add. So you can decrypt only if you know this secret salt. It's like adding salt to your food. Like we need to add some random text to decrypt this text. Okay, so this is my password, right? So I'm going to replace here. So rather than my password, I'm using this. Oh, sorry, I cannot. So my password was actually this. Sorry, yes, dear. This is my password. I'm blending this with a secret word. Okay, so that secret word can be anything. So I can use my name or you can use your name. You can do anything. So I can simply says this. Okay, this is my password actually. Secret salt. Okay, I'm running this. Even not found. Maybe the special characters not taking that. So let me remove some of it. One, two, three at ASDF. Yeah. So this is the secret. So we need to use this one as our password in our Ansible playbook. So when you pass this string, then it will convert this string to this automatically. Okay, remember 1, 2, 3 at capital ASDF. So I copy this guy. I go to my users YAML file. So here, rather than I'm writing my password here, I need to put the string that came. This is how we mention the passwords. Okay, remember, don't forget this. This is important because if you're trying to create the user and you give the password directly here, it won't work. You need to hash it and then use it. Okay, so now I have the user got created. Let's just do only for the user. So you can also say when, yeah, we're just creating this user onboarding. Okay, now I'm going to save this, right? Okay, So I'm going to run Ansible playbook -i. I'm going to run it only for the web servers, not all web servers. Ansible playbook -i hosts user.yaml. So I need to pass the variables. So -e uh, user ID is equal to let's say a is the user ID, and one more variable is user name. There's a comment. That's it. Okay, run it. Oh, no hosts. Oh, sorry. I have to come out from the playbooks directory because I created that inside the playbooks. So now -i host playbooks user.yaml and run this. It failed. Use invalid username. Invalid username. Looks like a tech is not taking. Now let me check a 1 2 3 4 5. What? User ID and username. Now let so if you don't know why it is failing, so we can pass -bbb verbose mode. This will give us a more information. So invalid username a. So why it says invalid username? Why this is invalid username? A12345. Let's check the user module. We have user name comment. Yeah, user name comment. Username comment. User ID. User comment. When password flag, right? Password parameter. Where is password? Password parameter. Yep. Let me change the user ID to test user. What? Invalid username.
Lokesh, is it user ID instead of UID?
No, that is not. It's a user ID only. We're just taking a variable. That's it. So we have just taken a variable here, user ID. Why it is not taking? Okay, let me break that variable into two pieces. Yeah, I think I merged that user ID and user value, right? So I kept both variables in one, but it should work. I don't know why it is not working, but it's fine. So test user will be created now in our boxes. So if you want to test it, so let's go ahead and log into our machines quickly. So cat hosts. So in this box, right? So now I am going logging into this box. I logged in. Yeah, before I'm here, I'm in this box. So if I do cat, I would see the test user getting created. Okay, so now let me go ahead and change the password policies. SSHD, oops, sorry, SSH and SSH config. No, not SSH config, SSHD config. So password authentication as yes. Systemctl restart SSHD. Okay, so now I get back. So now I can do su minus test user, and the password is going to be this ASTF. What? I missed the password. What I have given there. Su test user 123 at ASTF. Yeah, say logged in. The password that I have written 123 at ASTF. This is the password. I used it and I was able to log in. See, this is how the password works. So we need to hash it and then we use it. Okay. So now I come out. I'm in the Ansible directory. So here, so rather than this, you see this again, right? So this string, we can also secure. This is secure actually, but still, if you want to protect this, if you still protect this, you can protect with the Ansible vault. So now I copy this. Okay, I copy this string. So I am going to use the variable secret file. So I go to the no, I'm here only, right? I create a vars.yaml file. Okay, this is my password, right? I'm going to take a variable called password as this. So password will have this string. Okay, I'm saving this. Now I'm going to vault this. The command is Ansible vault. Okay, so let me check the help command. So we have create, decrypt, edit, view, encrypt. So already we have the file. So we are going to use a encrypt YAML file. If you're creating new, then we use create option. Okay, so I'm going to do Ansible vault. Okay, encrypt. Which file you want to encrypt? vars.yaml file. It is asking for the password. So you need to remember this password. So if you don't remember this password, then you will never decrypt it. Remember, you have to remember this password, whatever you are giving it now. So I'm just giving the password, confirming the password. Done. Encryption is successful. So now if anybody having access to this directory and they wanted to read the files, they can simply get these numbers because we encrypted it. They don't see anything. So do we know what the password is in this? Nope, because it is encrypted. Now, how we are going to pass this vars file to our Ansible playbook? So same case. So I go to the playbooks user. So here now I can replace this with the variable called password because I have taken the variable name as a password. So I do is the variable name I have taken as a password in the vars file. That's it. Now I can run it. So let's run the same command that we have used. So I'm going to remove the VVV tag and the new user will be A12345. Okay, and I'm going to remove this VVV because it's a pain. It shows a lot of thing. Now run. It will fail. It says the task includes an option with undefined variable. Of course, because we haven't informed where that variable is, variable file. So either we need to pass during the runtime or we need to load the variable file. So let's go ahead and load the variable file. So main playbook and user. So I'm going to load the variable file here, include vars. The vars.yaml file is the variable file. Perfect. Now let's run it. It will fail again. And let's see why it fails. So it says Ansible included var files change could not find. There is no access. It's vars.yaml file, right? Oh, it is looking inside the playbooks directory, not the outside. Okay, let's move this to playbooks directory and run it. Yeah, it says attempting to decrypt, but no vault secret found. So now what's happening? It found the var files. It tried to use the variable, but the file is encrypted. So now Ansible tried to decrypt it, but it failed. It did not find the vault password. So now we need to provide the vault password, but during the runtime. The command is ask vault. I think ask vault pass or ask vault, I think. Let's check with ask vault. See, asking for vault password first. So we need to provide the password first we have given, and then it will decrypt automatically and create the user. You see, the user got created. That is your vault. So we can implement the same thing with our roles also. So whichever files you think are secret that you need to keep securely, then we need to vault it with the Ansible vault. So maybe we can do the same thing inside our roles also. So we have our roles, right? HTTPD, and we have our vars file. So let's decrypt, encrypt this file, Red Hat vars. Okay. So what this Red Hat contains? So currently it has these two. Let's say, so let's assume these variables are your secret files. Okay. So now you need to encrypt it. So Ansible vault encrypt Red Hat vars file. Again, it will ask for new vault password. Each and every time you try to encrypt, it will ask for the new password. So you need to remember that. If you forget, then you never decrypt it. So if I do Red Hat, it is encrypted. No one sees what my variables contains. So if you are trying to install the MongoDB, so when you are installing MongoDB, so you may need to create one admin account, the master super system admin account, who is a DBA can use that. So again, you need to give the password. So you can put that password in these variable files and encrypt it and use that variable file in your task wherever it needed, and then pass the vault password during the runtime. That's it. So now we have used this. So let's go back and run our playbook. Ansible playbook -i host playbook HTTPD, and then ask vault. If you don't ask it, it will fail. If you done directly, it will fail. See, it is unable to decrypt it. Okay, so we can run with check mode as well. Let's see what happens with check mode. So even check mode says, so I failed to decrypt it. Now I got it. So now I'm going to pass the, I'm asking to ask for the vault password. It is asking, I give the vault password here, and then it reads the password and decrypts that encrypted file, and then used it. You see, that's what the vault, how we use it to secure the variable files that contains some secret or confidential. So if you want to decrypt it, so again you can do roles where we have HTTPD vars. So if you want to decrypt this, you can use same Ansible vault decrypt Red Hat. So if you want to edit something, so you can decrypt it. If you give the password, it decrypted successfully. Red Hat. See, you see everything. Now it's a regular file because you removed the encryption. So again, I'm vaulting it. Ansible vault encrypt Red Hat file. It is not there, but if you want to edit the encrypted file, the command is Ansible vault edit Red Hat. Will ask for the password. Once you give it, you will get your file where you can edit it. So once you save it, again it will go back to same vault. So edit is only to edit the encrypted file. It will decrypt and give you the main content where you can edit it. So once you save it, it again goes back to the encrypted one. So that's all about Ansible vault. So if you want to know more about that, so you can always verify this. Ansible vault dash help will give you create, decrypt, edit, view, encrypt strings, regenerate key. So versions -h and verb. That's about our Ansible
Okay. And
roles.
so
Yeah.
there is an encrypt string, right? So
Mhm.
we can use that for password, encrypt string like,
No, no.
or it just give you a string, right?
Yes,
Instead of
it will
that.
just encrypt it. Yes,
Okay.
I don't know, but let me see. I've never used that command. Ansible vault encrypt string. I wanted to encrypt this guy. This. It is just giving me this information. I don't know where to use this, how to use this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So what else? So we have covered Ansible, Ansible roles, and Ansible Galaxy and Ansible Vault. So what I would recommend that you just go ahead and practice it. So once you guys are practice well and you are good, then have a look at this. I mean, you don't need to look at this, the project. So first, you yourself may comfortable with the chapter that we have covered so far, like Jenkins, Git, GitHub, AWS, and then agents configuration, and then come back to Ansible. So once you are done with all this, then try to do a project. So I will probably, once you guys are ready, that you guys have practiced all the concepts, then we can discuss when we can meet one day, 1 week or 2 weeks, we can discuss. So if you have any doubts, I can clarify. I'll also recap everything what we have done, what is important that when you need to remember all this. Okay. So I wanted to show one thing, right? So with the AWS module, Ansible AWS EC2 module. So we have it here. So this is how you can use the Ansible EC2 module to spin up the machines. So we need to use Amazon AWS EC2. So what is the prerequisites? See, we need to first install the collections. So no, I don't want to install the collections. Let's use the EC2 module. Yeah. So I can use directly. So this module by default available in our Ansible. I'm going to use this. Okay, so let me write a quick one. So maybe you need to you need to create a role, okay, for EC2 machine. So I'm going to create a role now. Ansible Galaxy is a role, right? Ansible Galaxy role init. Uh, no, is the roles or what? Ansible Galaxy dash dash help. Yeah, Ansible Galaxy role init. So I would just say EC2. So role is created. I go inside the EC2. I directly go inside the tasks. So I have a main.yaml file. I'm going to write my module. So first name is going to be spinning up EC2 machine. EC2. So first I need to provide the key name. So which key I'm going to use. So I'm going to again variabilize that key name. And what else I have? Instance type. Instance type. So I'm directly hard coding it here. I'm not going to take any variable for this. And then we have an image. So which image you wanted to use. So I'll pick up the image. So I go to the AMIs. No, I don't have any, right? I launch a machine and I get it while launching. So I'll probably use the AWS one. So which image ID we have used here? Yeah, this is the image ID. I'm going to use this, or we can also variabilize that, but I'm just hard coding directly, okay, for the quick due. So image, so wait, yes. So I wanted to wait for machine to be available. And the group, this is security group, and the count, how many count you want. So I can also variabilize that. So variabilize that, and VPC subnet ID. Yes, we need that. VPC subnet ID. We need to provide the subnet name here. So okay, I will hard code that one as well. So I'm going to take the subnet. It will be in the networking. Do you see subnet here? Yeah, this is the subnet ID. I'm going to variabilize this hard coding it directly. And then what else we have? Assign public IP. Yes, I wanted to use a public IP as well. No, I don't need, because I'm going to use the Ansible key. So instance tags, if you want to create the tags, you can also use the tags. Instance underscore tags. So whatever tags we have it here. So I would use name will be Ansible EC2. Okay, let's take this instance tag here, and then these are the values for to attach. Yeah, I think that's it. So we need to provide our keys here. So I need to provide my key, AWS access key. So we need to pass the AWS access key and AWS secret key. So I'm going to pass AWS access key. So I'll probably put it here. There are various ways that you could do. Okay, I'm going to use the same variable and pass it as access key here, and then secret access key as well. Secret access key. Right. So now these are very sensitive for me, right? So remaining all are not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work on my VARs file. So in the default, I'll write all the default, but in my variable, I'm going to encrypt these two. Okay, I'm going to copy this. I saved it. I'm going back. I go to my VARs directory. I have a main here. I'm going to put it here directly. Okay, so dw, this is the key. I need to provide the values. So before that, let me go ahead and create a user quickly. We need a user details, right? So already we have a group here, which is developers. Let me create a group, EC2 users. I'm going to assign EC2 image full access, create group, and I'm going to create the user. He is going to be a EC2 admin, let's say, programmatic access. So add user to this EC2 group. Tags you can ignore later. I got the user created. So this is my secret key. I'm going to put it here. And then this is my secret key. Copy. That's it. So now I have this. So I need to encrypt this. So Ansible vault encrypt main.yaml file. So it's asking for the vault. My main file is encrypted. Man, see, done. So now still I have some more variables, right, which I have taken. So if I open this tasks and main.yaml file, so these two are done. I have taken key name and count. So key name and count, I need to again variable as that. So for that, I am going to use the defaults directory. I go to the defaults. So there is again one more main. So I am going to mention my defaults here. So that is key name. So I'm going to use Ansible key name. I have it already. And then count. I want 2 machines. Okay. So if I go to my AWS here, EC2 service, key pair. So in the key pair, I have the Ansible key pair. Come on. What? Sorry. It is key pair. See, I have a Ansible key name. I'm just mentioning this Ansible key name here. And I have 2 counts. So let me remove this quotes as well. We don't need the quotes. I saved it. So what we have done, so we have taken the important one inside the vars and we encrypted that, and we also still need some more variables. I kept them in the defaults. Okay, so we don't need to include any vars because those will be automatically considered. Okay, so let's check one more time. Not meta, main, sorry, tasks and main. So AWS key, AWS secret key name, wait, subnet ID, instance ID, and Ansible EC2. Perfect. So yeah, now let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. Okay, I come back. Here. Okay, I think if you want to use EC2, so we need to install the Boto. I think we need to configure the Boto for us. But let's run it and see how does it work. So now I am going to create a playbook. I would say ec2.yaml, spinning up the EC2 machines. So since we are spinning it up now, so we don't need to take the host. So we are going to run locally. So local means, so this Ansible task and the role will be executed on this machine. Okay, localhost true, no need to be a become true, and then roles. So which role I am going to call? EC2. Okay, now let's save this and run. Ansible playbook. There is no need to provide -i host now. Playbooks ec2.yaml. So we need to provide the vault password. Loki. Yeah, it will fail because it says Boto is required. So we need to install the Boto. So to install the Boto, which Python dash dash version. Okay, pip3 install Boto. What? Okay, sudo pip3 install Boto. Yeah, we installed the Boto as well. So Boto is a package required to uh, work on the AWS APIs using the Python. So now I have installed the Boto. Let's run it again. Password, gathering facts. Either region or EC2 URL must be specified. So I need to mention the region. That's fine. I go back to again my roles, EC2 tasks main. So I need to mention the region here. So I'm going to take US East 1. It's a mandatory according to the EC2 that module for spinning up the EC2 machine. So it is now working on spinning up the machines in behind. So I said 2 machines, right? So let's go ahead and check in our machines here. So if I go to EC2, so instance running, I filter out the running instances. See, it is pending. So who is creating these two? Not me. It is created by our Ansible. So it already created. Now if I refresh this, dude, it's already running. Ansible EC2, Ansible EC2. Beautiful. So we just used Ansible to create the machines. And since we have used the Ansible key, so we can directly log into this box by using private IP address. SSH, I think it's still loading up. It is not
So,
ready yet to use SSH.
so if you create that, you have to use IIMs, right?
Yes, you have to have anyway, if you want to create a machine, you need to use the AMI ID and you need to give one user access to create the machines, right? So you cannot use a root account because root account will have full privileges. If something compromises, then there is a huge risk. That's why you create a user and you let that user access the programmatic way and then you run it, the one way. The second way is, so you grant this Ansible the VM. So if you are running this Ansible inside a EC2 machine, so you can grant this machine IAM role to access the EC2 APIs. Then it can spin up the machines for you. Yeah, I
That
think
makes it
this is,
more secured.
which one?
That means that it's more secured, right?
Yeah, because you don't, it depends, right? So
More
people having access to this box, so they can do anything on your EC2. So you can give only to trustworthy. So it looks like it is not getting open. Oh, I'm using private IPv4 address. Yeah,
Now,
security group default.
now,
Yeah, we don't have the port open. So let me open the port for this. SSH from the world. Save rules. So now if I try, see, it gets open. See, now I'm inside the EC2 box. Before I was in 218, now I'm in 96. See, that's the beauty of your Ansible. So Ansible mostly used as a configuration management. So once you have VMs ready, so how you want to configure inside the VM is used. Whereas Ansible can also be used to spin up the machines as well. But mostly we use Terraform, but not the Ansible one. Okay, so that's what it is. So everything is here. So I went to the roles. So inside the EC2, right? So I have a defaults var everything. Inside the var section, I have taken user ID password. If I do this cat, it is encrypted, right? So, and also I have used some more variables. So those variables are mentioned inside the defaults. So defaults are least preference. If you don't pass any variables, then this will be considered because you don't want to fail your role. Okay. Anything? Any more doubts? No. Yeah. So that's it about Ansible. Whatever we have covered. So I think we were pretty much covered 70% of the Ansible. Like there are some more features available, so that you would come to know while you practice, like retries, ignore errors, true or ignore errors, false, all this. So but this is pretty much, I would feel, is more than sufficient for you to know in Ansible. So this pretty much covered 70 to 75% of your Ansible roles, vaults, and the tasks, everything. Okay.
So real time we have to use instead of the Ansible Terraforms or
Yeah, we use both. To Terraform we use to spin up the VMs. So once VM is spin up, so now we want to configure that VM. For what purpose we have used that? Like we spun up the VMs for the Jenkins agents. We spun up the VMs for some MongoDB servers. So we need to install it, right? So for Jenkins agents, so we need to install the Java, we need to configure the Maven, we need to configure the Gradle node, everything. So that we write the Ansible play roles for that. So we write the Maven role, we write the Java role, and we write the uh,
so
Gradle
most
role, Docker role, and then we call all those roles in one playbook. Sorry, you were saying something?
so mostly for roles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would say that is the end of the Ansible for the basic sessions. So next week I will start with the Docker. Okay. So Docker is very important because once you understand how the Docker works, then only you understand the Kubernetes. So remember, Kubernetes is definitely going to be in almost in all your interview questions. They will definitely stretch about, do you know the Kubernetes? What is your experience? So if you really want to understand the Kubernetes, then you should understand the Docker first. Docker is very important. Okay. So what I would recommend, whatever you guys are practicing so far, do practice well. I would also recommend that you go back to Jenkins and practice on Thursday and Friday so that you become familiar with the Jenkins again. So then we are going to teach the Docker, and then we see how we can use Docker with the Jenkins. We can also use Jenkins with Ansible as well. In the deploy step, you can create a new stage and call the Jenkins playbook. That's it. That's not a big deal. Okay. So let's focus on the Docker next week, and then we are good. Once we are good with the Docker, then we jump onto Kubernetes. So after that, we will discuss on the Terraform. So you guys have so many things to learn. So do practice well. You don't need to worry. So if you are getting interview calls, be attend, because don't be don't wait that I did not complete my course, I did not practice well. You don't need to, because interview process will take at least a month, and once you get the interview going on, and you get selected, then you would feel more responsible for practicing and knowing the stuff. The thing is actually why I'm asking you to do the interviews now, because you know all the concepts now, little bit. So when you get the interview call, so you would come to know what they're asking, so which area I need to focus, so how to respond it. So if you get the job, right, so you come to know what is their job description is, so you would come to know what they're expecting from you. So if they're expecting from you to work on Ansible, they wanted to work on configuration management more, then you can focus on Ansible more during that joining period time, because you would be having your background verifications and all the stuff, right? So during that time you focus more on the Ansible. The moment you join the company, you are ready to work on their tasks. That's why don't miss, try to focus. Every opportunity is very important. If you miss one opportunity, you may not get it. As I told you, so the